Hey guys, I wanted to show you real quick something I discovered, and not a lot of YouTube videos out there on it for this type of washer, and this goes the same for all your Whirlpools, Kenmores, that older direct drive style, which in my opinion is one of the best. Real quick on these, sometimes they get off balance and you're sitting here moving around, you're like, man, it feels fine, I don't understand why it's not working. You checked all the springs, all these little retainer springs here, they're all fine. Your spring on the back is fine, which is every YouTube video says, oh, it's these springs, but it's not. And then maybe you went and you checked for the pads underneath here. Right up in here, you've got these little pads that go in between the metal, and all that's fine. You're like, I just can't figure out why it's still off balance. And what I mean by off balance is it boom, 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 just goes crazy on you. It wasn't until I got under there looking at those pads that I noticed, and it was kind of subtle because everything is stacked on top of each other here and it's all black, so it was kind of hard to notice, but I'm going to show you real quick. This plate right here is not attached to the rest. It moves. It's in between your base and it's in between what holds on the transmission and the bottom of this tub here. It's like a little plate that kind of moves back and forth in here. And what had happened was there's an indentation. If you see this bracket, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a metal bracket that comes up here. There's kind of an indentation here where they line up here like that. And then this runs straight parallel with the front of your washer. Well, what I noticed when I was under here looking at these little pads trying to figure out maybe there's a missing pad, is I noticed this thing here was actually off center. And it was, at first I didn't notice it, and then I looked again and I said, wait a minute, this guy right here was way over here. So this piece with this little notch indentation here was way over here, and so like this thing had turned almost 90 degrees and was sitting on there cockeyed. Didn't look like it at first, so you might glance at it and think that's how it's supposed to be, but it's not. If you've checked all this other stuff and your washing machine is still jumping around, check this plate and make sure that these are notched out here. And if you go all around the machine, you'll see there's a bracket for every little indentation notch. There again, I know it's kind of hard to see, but on this side, you'll see the same thing. You see the bracket and then the indentation notch for it. So if you're not lined up, then your machine's going to be crazy off balance. So mine, like I said, this was in the middle over there, so then this back side was almost all the way over here. And so what I did, instead of taking all this apart to try to fix that, I actually had my wife come out and she just from the inside lifted this up just enough, and I was able to swivel this around, put it back in place. You got to lift it up enough to get around these little pieces here. So, you know, you're lifting what, 2.5 inches probably. And then you just swivel this and match up your notches here, drop it back down, and you're good to go. And so then, fired it back up, and everything worked perfect. Let me turn my power back on and I'll show you. So now, at this point it would have started bam, 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 jumping all around and sounded terrible. But now everything's put back the way it's supposed to be. And I would assume that that plate gets off balance. Maybe you threw a blanket in there or a bunch of towels got on one side, so you just had an off balance load and it jumped around enough to throw that plate off. Or maybe you just moved and up and down on the dolly, or maybe went down some stairs and that plate jiggled around. So check that, because like I said, I've run into this issue before and I just never noticed that before. But today I did, so I thought, hey, maybe this will be helpful for somebody who's checked all the springs, they've checked all the little pads under there, and they've checked everything, balanced the washer, and it's still crazy off balance. That might be your issue. So hopefully this can help somebody out. You guys have a great day. Thanks.